Thanks for tuning into the For Love of the Game podcast, where we uncover the most cherished stories of America's favorite pastime. Woven into the DNA of our country are tales from our backyards and sandlots, summer leagues to the big leagues. Every fan has a personal connection, a memory, resonating in each of us. It takes us on a journey to a time long forgotten, or a moment in our youth. That first time we heard the crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the smell of the fresh cut grass. And these cherished recollections sit there in the back of our minds, beckoning us back to the game that we know and love, a reason to come back home, a reason for our love of the game. So today we are joined by the peanut butter and jelly spreading, chicken tender eating, steak grilling king, number 7, Mr. Chris Borak himself. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
For those of you who might not know, Chris and I played college ball together for 4 years, and we actually roomed together for, about 6 years, right?
6 or 7, something like that.
Yeah, so we've been together through the good, the bad, and the ugly, so to say, but definitely more good. So, Chris, you grew up in Lansdale, PA, just a short drive from Philly. So where did your love of the game come from? Who introduced you to baseball?
I think originally it had to have been my dad. He was more like a basketball guy growing up, but he played a bunch of different sports. But I definitely got my athleticism from him, I'd say. I'd say I loved to watch the Phillies. That was my thing. I was allowed to stay up till maybe like 9 o'clock. I'd get to see them start at 7, turn on CSN. Get to see Jimmy Rollins out there, Chase Utley, get to see all these guys playing. That's where my love really grew. It probably started. We actually lived even closer to Philadelphia when I was even younger.
Okay.
Back in, it was like Elkins Park area, which is maybe only like 20 minutes from getting down into the city. But yeah, down there I had my old little glove. I had a little Fisher T. There's plenty of videos of me whiffing off of that thing.
It's a classic.
Learned how to throw my cutter there at the age of 3. Probably pegged my dad and the dog a couple too many times on accident. But I feel bad for my dad, actually, going back to him. I was the little kid that would beg him 4 times a day. I think that was like my average to play catch with me outside. It was raining. Still wanted to play catch.
Still wanted to go. No, I think now, just looking back on it and being, an adult, or at least trying to adult, have so much more respect and appreciation for what our parents did,
Absolutely.
Realizing how tired they must have been after work. And here we were, the annoying kids who, like you said, always wanted to play, always wanted to have a catch, or wanted, dad to throw to you. So it's just,
you have brothers. That was a nice thing for you. I'm sure they helped you out.
I did have 2 brothers. Yeah, they. Needless to say, it took me a while, I think, to gain their respect before I could actually play with the big boys, though.
Yeah.
But it was great just having them, one, as role models that I could learn from, but 2, just watch and. Just grow up watching. I think we were constantly at the ballpark, so that's definitely where it all started for me. But yeah, so getting back to the Phillies, you said you're about only 20 minutes away from there. Who were your favorite players growing up?
Chase Utley was always a favorite, but Jimmy Rollins too. My favorite thing I used to do when I was actually playing, like shortstop, was my home for me. And I always used to try to emulate his move up the middle. Let the ball get a little behind, a little spin move, and fire to first. And I had no idea how he did it. Like my dad would take me and we'd go and we'd put my little bag up at first in a bucket. And I would try to peg it doing that every time from shortstop. I wasn't very good, but, gave it a shot.
Well, I hope the kids out there are listening, because it might have not looked too pretty back then, but it sure paid off dividends for you, especially when we got to college. I know I can see you making this play vividly in my mind, and one that comes to at the top of my mind was back senior year in the MAC championships when we were playing DeSales. I had come into relief, and we were trying to force the if necessary game for the championship yet again, which we'll get into that later. But there was just a sharp ground ball up the middle, and of course I wasn't in great fielding position. Coach Egbert was probably pissed.
Jimmy.
But, no, and then there goes. I was like, this sure a base hit right up the middle, but then here comes Chris rolling to his left, getting the ball spinning and making the throw to first. And I don't even remember. Did you get the guy out?
Yeah, we got him out. Miles Westrich with the pick over at first base, thankfully.
That's right.
Without breaking any bones. Good.
That poor guy. You were the cause of a few hand injuries on the team.
By accident. I didn't mean to.
Not for that. Not for the cutter, but just
little errant throws at times. We'll say.
Yeah, but no, like I said, I think that practicing paid off well for you.
Oh, yeah. And I have another one for you, actually.
Okay.
Jim Thome.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I always had 25. I remember it was like a practice for a local team. It was Montgomery. I don't even know the name of them. But there was a guy there, and we were picking our numbers in a circle, and he said 25, and I said, no, I want 25. And he said, I think, I could be wrong on this, Paul Konerko was his reasoning. I don't know if that's right. But I was like, I want Jim Thome. We played rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and I was 25 for a while after that.
And you got it.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, Jim Thome's power didn't translate to
Not even a little bit.
Maybe back in the day, I think he said he used to hit bombs back in Little League, but
I won the home run derby for Little League. You had to hit it out of the infield. And I didn't hit it much further even about 10 years later in college.
I was going to say that was hard to believe, but
who would have thought?
That's good, man. That's good. So fast forward to college ball. Like I said, you were our shortstop. You played third base, second base sometimes, and then we won't mention your stint out in the outfield. That was oh man.
I cringe every time I think of that. It hurts.
So obviously, you would have, and you did play wherever coach put you, but you just felt, I guess, most at home at short.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was comfortable there. The game came to me easily there. Third base, second base, close, but just nothing's the same as shortstop.
Yeah. No, and that I think that was obviously a natural fit for you, just being one of the leaders on the team out there. It's such a critical position, and you definitely did that well. And one thing I will say, Chris has some of the quickest hands, and he's definitely, I don't even know if this is a word, but one of the best taggers that I ever played with. I think he gives Javier Baez a run for his
I love
money.
it. I admire him.
And it just, I think Al's percentage of caught stealing definitely increased a good 10% with how quickly you could apply the tag.
I knew I could get away with. I mean, I remember back we played Eastern. I got a buddy over there. He tried to steal second base. Al throws one hops me. You just got to play it off like you hit him right away. Everything's real quick. Never even tug him. It wasn't even close, I don't think. And umpire rings him up. He's like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, you just got to sell it. I mean, it wouldn't work as well now with the replay.
With the replay,
but
yeah, man, it's all in the acting.
That's what it is.
Got to be a performer out there sometimes.
Got to sell it.
That's right. So, being that you got to play college ball and have a career that lasts, longer than the average player, I'm sure you have a few memories that come to mind. But what are some of maybe one of your favorite memories from playing baseball?
Playing baseball in general, not even just college?
Well, I guess college, growing up, whatever, something that kind of sticks in your mind.
Well, one, I'll go to high school for one. It's my senior year. We're playing a scrimmage to start the season. I think we were up by 10 plus runs, and I go to tag a kid at second base, hear a little pop, and just sat there and wait. I knew I broke my thumb. So I sat out most of my senior year for high school, which really hurt because I had guys from Misericordia come to check me out and things like that. So eventually, towards the end of the season, we were getting at that point where I was getting close to where I could just get the cast off. So I think it was maybe a week earlier than I was supposed to. I had my dad take garden shears to the cast, and we got it off. It's amazing how weak your arm gets in that time. So I could not swing a bat. I tried once, and it was kind of not painful, but it was very uncomfortable. I definitely wouldn't have any power. So I come back in a game. I think it was one of our last division games there, and they put me in at shortstop because I was one of the better fielders there. And actually, that's where the tagging comes in. We throw a guy out at second base, put a quick tag on him. It was like I was back to normal already. However, then he got a hit. So I came in with a runner on first, nobody out. And I think we were either in the last inning or in extras. And I was laying down a bunt regardless, even if there wasn't someone on. So I put a bunt down. They throw the ball away, and we did not have any fence back there. So we were just running for days. And I technically hit the walk-off with a little crappy dinky bunt down the third baseline. So that's one of my favorite, I guess, younger memories. But if we're going to college, go ahead.
No, that's pretty legendary. And props to your dad, who, being the professional physical therapist, even allowed that to happen.
He knew I was okay. And now that I'm kind of from that perspective, I was all right. I just had to be smart.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big deal. But if we're going to college, it's tough to really pick one. I mean, there's just every single year I think of how different each championship was and how there were so many different things you had to battle through both personally and as a team throughout the season. So, like, you think of our first year, for our class specifically, we're a bunch of freshmen. We're just learning the game. Like, we're all tinier than the other guys there. I was like 140 pounds soaking wet. Kyle Lindsay might have been 120. And then we're out there. We're both playing, finding a way to just kind of get through and make a difference. And, like, you see other guys stepping up and trying to, like, find their way in. And then you go to your sophomore year where all of our seniors, like a huge class, one of the best classes Misericordia's ever had, they all graduate. And, like, now it's up to us to kind of take over the reins. We had some guys that were juniors, now seniors, that were big, but, like, we could tell it was more our time. So you go through that, and then you go into your junior year. For me, like, my senior year, my favorite memory I'll say from senior year, outside of winning the MAC there, is I was just starting physical therapy school, and we have to do cadavers. So I think we were playing either Manhattanville or Eastern. It might have been Eastern. I went from being in these disgusting clothes and working on a deceased person to learn anatomy to being on the field hitting leadoff in a matter of like 25 to 30 minutes. Like, I literally ran out of the place. I ran to the locker room, got changed. Didn't get to go through the full stretch and throw. I literally just get out there, throw, and then go on the field to play. And, like, I get on first base in my first at bat, and I, like, told the guy at first, I was like, yeah, I was just working with dead people, like, 20 minutes ago. Like, what? Like, you probably shouldn't smell me.
I don't think too many people would be able to relate to that one.
No, that's a personal favorite, but, yeah. Any you can think of?
Oh, man. That's a good question. I mean, just being on the team for all 4 years, there are so many that come to mind on the field, off the field. You know, just being part of that winning culture. It was just also special, and to do it, you know, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times, you know, winning the championship. It was pretty special.
And the funny thing you learn is that, especially like anyone younger listening out there still playing, like, it's not the game as much that you remember. It's all the little things behind the scenes. It's like hanging out in the locker room after a win, or just kind of the feeling of being with your guys and getting through something of like coaches trying to torture you with this, running this and doing that, and you guys all make it through together, and you're just like passed out on the couch afterwards. Like that's the memories that come to mind just as much as on the field.
Yeah, and I'd have to agree with that because, I knew, you were going to be on here, and I was trying to think of some of the games, and I'm just like, they all kind of blend together, but it was more of, like you were saying, the moments in the locker room, in the weight room, riding the bus. I will say, for anyone who does want to win championship weekend before the game, you have to go to IHOP.
Yes, that is the key to a win. You have to walk down a road that doesn't look the safest in the world.
No sidewalk.
No sidewalk. Cars going about 60, and you have to find a way to cross it and get to IHOP if you want to win.
Right.
That is.
That's right. The breakfast of champions.
Yes.
Don't forget that one. But so here we go. We got last couple of questions here for you.
Right.
If you could go back in time and watch any one player, who would it be?
See, I have an interesting answer for this one because, like, usually you'd think of, I'd like to watch, like, Hank Aaron. I like to watch Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, that kind of thing. I would love to watch Mike Trout play at a high school level.
Really?
I would love to see that because, like, this guy is an absolute star. Like, I've seen some videos of him just hitting absolute missiles off a kid and just leading his team to the win every time. Like, he's just above everybody else when he's on that field. He's strong, he's fast, and like I would just stand there in awe if I was playing him.
That is a very interesting answer. I was not expecting that. But how about old timers? Do you got any old timers you might want to see?
Old timers. It's hard to think back now, but like I guess from a far away perspective, and it would have been different at the time compared to our perspective nowadays, but like the whole Jackie Robinson thing unraveling, like you watch 42, it would have been interesting to see, like obviously then they didn't see that behind the scenes stuff. You saw all the hate and things like that, but to see him just kind of go out there and literally get yelled at by all these people of like just hate that didn't have any like logic or reason, and see him just kind of fight through that and just still play the game regardless. Like I feel like that would have been something interesting looking back on now to see. And he was an infield. I would have loved to see that. Played a little bit everywhere, but
watch him steal home.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, I mean, imagine just the excitement that he brought to the game, and just the pure joy to a whole group of people. And yeah, it's just amazing hearing the stories what he went through. I mean, he couldn't even. You remember how close-knit our team was, and Jackie wasn't even, in some instances, able to stay in the same hotel room or eat at the same restaurants. Yeah. And like I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, and that's like the fun stuff you remember, like we said, and like he missed out on that, and he still like fought through it with a purpose, with like he wanted to play the game because he loved it type of thing and breaking barriers. So that would have been something cool.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. That's a good answer. Yeah. All right, so we're here. The extra inning question. The baseball genie has granted you one wish. You get to have one baseball superpower. What would it be?
Oh boy. Well, let's see. I have to think on that one. Well, I think the first one I would go with would be to never let the Sales win another MAC championship ever again.
Well, I think we were already granted that.
We may have already been given that one. As long as we're there, that would be the one. But for me personally, and this one kind of hurts because back in college, never got to hit a home run. Thought I hit one at Eastern where the fence was like maybe 300 down the line. Yeah, I only went like 290 if I'm lucky. But just to be able to hit a home run that I know is gone, that I can just no doubt, relax, watch it go, walk around the bases, just the power to do that. Like, if I would have hit one, it would have been the most interesting thing because Coach Egbert would have probably punched me because I would have watched the entire thing. Even after it landed, I would have just been, like, looking out there, and he would have been happy.
I think the whole dugout probably just would have up and left.
It would have been pure
give it
silence. It would have been incredible.
Forget the silent treatment. We just game over.
Oh my God, that would have been great. What's your superpower, Jim?
Well, I was thinking about this, and I would have loved to have broken 90 at least once, but I would have to say to have a rubber arm and just be able to pitch every single day. I actually just got done reading the story about Satchel Paige, and he used to literally pitch 3 innings for one team, drive 2 hours away, and then pitch another 3 innings, and just consistently overpowering these guys. I just think that would be awesome to know that every day you'd have a chance to come in and pitch and just be at 100%. I think that would be pretty cool.
So the dream is being Ryan Dorosh during championship weekend, essentially.
That's it. Knowing your number is gonna get called on every single day.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yep. But
now I got a question for you. This is my extra inning question.
Oh boy.
If you could think of one moment that defined your doesn't have to be, we'll say career, I guess, your baseball career, whether it was overcoming something, whether it was like a specific outing or anything like that. Do you have one that comes to mind, first of all?
Well, there's a few that pop into my head. I'm going to go with 2 because one, you talk about freshman year and just kind of finding your role in MAC championships. Coach always preaches, you be ready to play. You never know when your time's going to, be called to go in. Mm-hmm. And so another semifinals to force the if necessary game, coach goes to me, if he gets to second base, you're going in. I was just like, oh my gosh. Here we go. The biggest moment of my college career so far. And ends up get on second base. Before I head out there, Gargone goes to me, you're the tying run. You don't matter. Don't get picked off. So I go out there, kind of. I gotta be honest. I was nervous. Hadn't played all playoffs, and then here you are in the semifinal, and I'm out there. I get a gigantic lead, which I had no idea what I was doing, and then the kid does an up and over, and I flinched like I'm headed to third, and I was like, "What am I doing?" So I get back to second. And then my heart's racing at this point, and so I get another lead, and then the kid tries to jump pick me back, and I just beat the throw back, and then I was like, all right, this can't happen a third time. So, here I am trying to remember, all the things that coach teaches you. Get your good secondary. So I take 2 gigantic hops off a second, and then the kid throws home, and then the catcher tries to back pick me. And I only had one choice at that point, and I had to take off for third. And I'm in the back of I'm trying to run as fast as I could. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And I don't see the ball coming. And I slide, and I get there. And then I just look up at coach, and he looks down at me, and he just goes, they teach that shit in Bath? And I was just so relieved. And then looking over at the dugout, and the guys are just going nuts. And I'm just so relieved that I didn't get picked off. I think the seniors would have killed me. That would have ended the run, the streak.
I was going to say, you missed Andrew Tressa in the dugout. He would have I remember him vividly during this entire thing. He would have ran out there and killed you before you even got back.
Yeah, I would have had a lot of people to answer to after that one. But no, we ended up scoring on a sac fly to tie the game. Then we ended up winning that game. Then, of course, crushing them in the championship game.
Surprise.
Keeping the streak alive. So that's probably one people don't remember too much. But that one definitely was one of the highlights of the college career. 1,000 stolen base percentage. So can't take that one away from me.
It's better than someone who tried to steal third base before the pitcher ever actually lifted his leg. That would be me.
And that was freshman year, though, right? We're still learning.
Yeah, it was like 10 degrees out. My brain doesn't work then, so we'll go with that.
Well, that was right after you almost hit your home run, I think.
I did hit one in the gap that was maybe within 30 feet, which is close for me, so.
Yeah, so you're still reeling from that one.
Yeah, exactly. I was still on the high of that one.
Plus, it was like 10 degrees out that day. Baseball in the Northeast, you never get used to it.
It's tough up here.
Yeah, it just adds the extra element of mental toughness you got to get through.
Oh yeah, breed them tough.
That's right. Especially at Misericordia, D3 powerhouse. But well, Chris, man, it's been a pleasure talking with you, going down memory lane a little bit here.
It's been great.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. I like being on.
That wraps up today's conversation. If you enjoyed this episode, please give our podcast a like and share it with your friends. And if you have a baseball-related story to tell that you would like to have featured on the show, drop us a line in the comments, or you can send a direct message to our Facebook page. Thanks again for tuning in, and until next time, I'm Jim Tunison, and this is For Love of the Game.